Hey, Sooner football fans. This is your Sooner football fans podcast. You got Terry, Rob, and Caleb here. Boomer up.
Boomer Terry.
Boomer Caleb.
Boomer.
And the first thing we need to do is remind everybody to hit your subscribe button, your like button, stalk button.
Follow us.
Whatever you got to do to make us your number one
And not just because
Sooner
we're pretty.
sport. Yeah. Well, Rob's pretty. I'm handsome. There's a difference.
I'll take either one, really. I'm not picky.
But also remember that we are not affiliated with the University of Oklahoma.
But we do have eligibility left.
Correct. And we have a guest in the Podcast Palace, the beautiful Podcast Palace here in Norman, Oklahoma. You saw him on our YouTube video last Thursday. We have my eldest son, David, with us. Boomer David.
Boom, Dad.
David came in and brought the family in. So we have a house full of screaming 11-year-olds, 6-year-old, and 2-year-old.
Yep, soon to be 3.
Yeah, so
She'll let you know that.
Very interesting. And then the more interesting one is my middle daughter, who is louder than all of them. Correct, David?
Oh, yeah. She could probably bring a deaf person to life.
Yes. So, yeah, this morning she was in talking to David. They were getting out of bed, and all David said was, "Megan, you're so loud. Turn it down." So, but we had a house full. Of course, this is our Orange Bowl semifinal recap.
Broken heart party.
Broken heart party. The Sooners drop a loss to Alabama, to score of 45-34. We had a house full here of people watching the game. We had Conway from Arizona flew in to hang out with us. We had Tattoo Baker here, Rob, of course, and his son Casey, Caleb, and I don't know who else was here. We tried some new things. We painted our faces.
That lasted.
That lasted
half a quarter.
I wore no OU gear for the first
David
half.
wore no OU gear. We painted our faces. Me, Rob, and Caleb did. I was the first one to take it off when we were down 14-0. Then Caleb, I think, took it off. Then Rob took his off, and when it was down 28-0, Rob, what did you do?
I left.
No, so I was under the impression that you left to the garage or something to watch the game.
You did,
but
then they took off.
So yeah, I bounce outside to see if you're outside. Bounce around the other rooms, and then I go outside into the garage, and Dad's sitting there watching the game
By myself.
And, and I'm like, "Where's Rob?" He said he left. I was like, "Oh, he left."
So I have to apologize. I am not. I don't like to be negative, and so when we're losing, and
There's
I
nothing
can't
to
help it.
we couldn't find anything positive when we were down 28-0.
I think we had 0 yards still at that time, too.
I don't want people seeing me cry.
You know what? I think the most positive person in the whole game was probably Conway's girlfriend.
Yeah, Melissa. The rest of us were, especially that first half, everybody was pretty negative. And it wasn't negative in a bad way. It was just, this is what we, Rob and I, before the game started, I walked up to Rob and I said, I don't know how we're going to beat these guys.
Yeah.
The anticipation I built up that I was going to, we're going to win. But then on game day, I was like, we can't stop them.
Which, it's kind of funny. I think we all picked them to win. Didn't we?
Yeah.
Not me. I'm the only one that didn't.
Caleb didn't.
I wish I was wrong.
Yeah.
I'm pretty mad.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I'm sure everybody erupted just like we did on the fumble on the first drive at the 1. And we thought this is it. And then when there was no fumble. Yeah. So, and then the score, and then 3 and out. I think we had 3 straight 3 and outs.
Yeah,
didn't
we didn't have any yards like the first 3 drives, and they scored.
We
3.
had nothing.
Yeah.
We had nothing.
Yeah.
The first quarter, at least, it was. You're seeing all the stats for Bama shoot up, and then you look at Oklahoma. It's 0-0-0-0-0.
There's a picture of like Herbstreit them talking. It has like they have 100 yards rushing, almost 100 yards, over 100 yards passing, and we have 0.
And unfortunately, that's all people are going to see. That's all they're going to remember.
Well, that's what people are saying. Like even like after the game, people are still posting that picture saying, "Oh, this team belongs." They didn't watch the game, obviously, but they just saw that.
Because what do you think happened, guys? I mean, how did that game start like that with Oklahoma doing nothing?
There's a lot of missed opportunities.
Yeah.
People weren't capitalizing on plays. There was missed blocks. There was missed plays all around. You know, when holes opened up, people weren't capitalizing on punching through them. And you know, when it's sad to say, as a receiver, when the ball hits your hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in the numbers.
And I think what sucks a lot is like Hollywood. I love that guy, but he probably shouldn't have been out there, and that took away from Rambo being out there. He ended up exploding at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But that hurts a lot. Yeah. So I think him having out there, kind of just like he was 100%. We couldn't do our normal offense.
Well, for starters, you're playing the number 1 team in the nation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Let's not beat around. They are the best team in the nation, bar none. So when you come out, you're going to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah,
and
shell
I think
shocked.
we were. We seen some of Kyler's passes sailing. You know, that's nerves. He's got the adrenaline flowing. You know, they did get some breaks. You know, but I mean, this game aside, the overall season, amazing season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even with this game, I mean, it came out 11-point loss. When you're down to the number 1 team in the country by 28, and you roll back and get beat by 11 points, and they were in it. I mean, they were still in the game. You know, we kicked an onside kick, just didn't get that bounce because Alabama was out of position on that onside kick. They had everybody come up to block, and if that ball would have took the bounce,
we might have got it.
But they got punched in the mouth, and they could have done 2 things. They could have done like, what was it, the 2003 when we played USC, 2000.
Let's not talk about that game.
Yeah, when they could have laid down, and they didn't. Because from the point of being down 28 to nothing, Oklahoma, from that point on, outscored them 34-17.
Yeah.
So when Rob left, we started winning.
Yeah.
And you know what? Those last 3 quarters, maybe the 3 best quarters the defense played all year.
Yes.
long.
Even like then, like they're playing good defense when they were scoring. Like we're there and covering
we were
well.
in
Just
coverage,
2 were just throwing dimes over
Two
us.
throwing it right
on the money.
That one pass. I mean, I hate it, but it was beautiful. Just writing the numbers.
Where he threw it through the safety.
Yards?
Yeah, threw it through the safety in the corner.
Yeah,
and
and
double
both of them
coverage.
were right there, and just boom!
Perfect.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous pass, gorgeous catch. But damn it, I hate it.
It's crazy that he went 26 for like 29. And I think it's probably the best coverage we had all year. It's kind of crazy saying that, but like we were on them. Like they weren't like wide open throws. Most of them weren't. Like he just put them right in the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tua was 24 of 27.
Yeah, I think we only had 3 incompletions.
That's ridiculous.
He's the second best quarterback in the nation.
Yeah, second best.
I mean,
you know.
period.
And then I saw a stat. I guess against the blitz, he was like 8 for 8 for like 100-something yards and like 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you something. That running back from Oklahoma, ridiculous.
Yeah, that kid from was he
I
from
wish we
Union?
got him. He's Union.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
One
he's,
of those- one of those-
yeah, but when
Tulsa, I think.
yeah, Tulsa
that's
Union.
what
But I
he
think
did.
Herb Street said Oklahoma didn't even
Didn't
offer
recruit
him.
him. Yeah, they didn't
Yeah,
recruit
we
him.
did.
Yeah, we did too. I promise you.
But
You know, in Alabama, and have OU offer you.
yeah, but you know, the one of the things that I did like to see, and I know we got penalties and everything else on it, but was when the offensive line got in 2 fights.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, they were, you know, and everybody was talking. You see the coaches talking to them, but it seemed to me that was the turning point in the game for Oklahoma was, okay, we're losing, but we're not going to let these guys beat us up. We're going to fight back. And then I'm pretty sure Nick Saban, when we kicked off from our own 5-10, and the dude called a fair catch.
What happened? That was the dumbest play in the entire world.
I'm pretty sure and he wasn't even the one that caught the ball.
Yeah, it was
Oh yeah.
And I bet you Nick Saban made that boy walk home. I mean,
One of the things that Sarah kept pointing out as well is anytime one of Saban's boys would get on the sideline and say they messed up or did something foul, is Saban's digging into them. They're just walking off. Like any other day. They don't give two B's about it.
Well,
he was getting on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do like what they were showing him when something happened, like a penalty, that he pulls out his piece of paper and writes down. So
I'm gonna remember that.
And that's what Herbstreit was saying, is that's what he's doing. He writes down so he can discuss it immediately.
Probably so he can go find out if they got a pet, and then he can go kill the pet and send it to him in the mail, because that's Nick Saban is the devil.
Rob really doesn't like Nick Saban.
I don't like Nick.
But I think the biggest point that we can pull out of all this is Oklahoma did play better in the last three quarters. And I'm not going to say anything bad about the defense, because there was no lack of effort out of that defense. They put everything on the line. It's just our defensive development has been so far behind the last 3 or 4 years. That's what has to be addressed right now by Lincoln Riley.
I don't think our defense had any penalties.
I don't know if they did.
But good or bad though.
No, I don't think our defense had any penalties that game.
But the thing is, though, it's just that we're just not there yet. Why is our defense so far behind our offense? It's because obviously our offensive development is far and above, probably better than anybody's in the country. And for some reason, we haven't been able to develop those defensive players.
You have to say coaching, don't you?
Yeah. So what's the step? We all, I think, agree sitting in this room that it's not Ruffin McNeil. And I think what Lincoln needs to be doing right now, and which I'm pretty sure he probably has been on the phone looking for that next defensive coordinator, the guy, just like James Hale said sitting in here, finding that person that is as dynamic on defense as he is on offense. Yeah. So the rumor mill has been out for quite a while. Golding out at Alabama, and
Grinch.
Who do you?
Well, you know what? Ohio State's defense was not that good this year.
No.
So that's the problems we had. They got big plays.
I mean, typically in the past, though, they have been good. So, I mean, I don't know how much room we're giving, but this year, not so much.
You can recruit good players, because you look at the NFL, they got almost every DB is from Ohio State now. So,
yeah, I mean, but who do you like, Caleb?
I mean, I don't think it's ever going to happen, but he's from here. So Rex Ryan, I think, we were pretty awesome. He has been coaching for a long time.
Yeah.
And he is a real good defensive line.
Rex is
He wanted to coach the Jets.
He's the hippie one.
No, that's the other one. Rex actually could coach defense, though. He coached the Baltimore defense.
Which one was here? Because was it Rex?
They're both here, but then they went to NFL.
Well, what's the other one's name? It's
Rob.
Rex and Rob. There you go.
Probably won't happen just because I don't know. He's a job ESPN.
Yeah, because he was here, and then one of them went to Oklahoma State too, didn't they? And they were coaching.
I think they're both. I think they're both were here for like 1 year.
Okay,
and then
that
they
one's
left.
tainted now.
Yeah.
That only ever happened just because I think he was NFL job only. But they're from around this area, kind of. So I mean,
oh yeah, they're from Oklahoma. They coached here.
So I mean,
I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah,
actually,
it'd be kind of to have Rex or Rob, especially Rob.
I want Rob. Rob's not nearly as good as Rex.
Rob with the long hair, and
Rob should know, as a Cowboys fan, Rob Ryan's not that good, but he's okay. He's not that good, but I think Rex is actually the one that actually is like the one.
So let's look at realistic.
It could happen.
So you're wanting Rex?
I think that'd be cool.
Think it'd be cool.
I don't know anyone else. I mean, like the Alabama guy, I'm
Golding.
I'm not sure. I mean, that could all just be Saban, and he can just be the face of it. So that's why I'm not. Like Kirby actually was like helped Saban. I'm not sure how much this Golding guy actually helps out Saban.
Well, Golding, he coached at San Antonio, and brought them along, and then he doesn't have play calling duties, so that would be the plus for the job for him, and I'm pretty sure that whoever it is that Lincoln is told, whomever controls the checkbook for him, that it needs to be opened up. We got to pull somebody in here.
Absolutely, because next year's offense, it's going to be explosive as well.
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
And we got to have a defense that matches that.
Yeah.
But do you think we're going to lose? Do you think Evans is coming back? Because if not, we're going to lose 4 to 5 offensive linemen. That's what scares me about next year's offense.
Well,
you can have receivers everywhere. If you can't block no one, it doesn't matter.
Well, we do have the #1 offensive line in the country coming in.
Yeah.
He's here already. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a freshman now. I don't trust a freshman as offensive lineman, though. It's just, I mean, I get worried about offensive line. That's the one thing I'm worried about next year offensively. That's it. Everything else we're loaded at. So
he's 6'8", 350, 340.
Yeah.
And he's the strongest. He was the strongest kid in the draft.
Yeah.
Or not
class.
draft,
Yeah. Class. Well, and then you got Creed Humphrey.
He's the one that's coming back for sure.
Yeah, he's coming back.
I think
Well,
Evans
he
might
doesn't
come
have a
back.
choice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a freshman. Evans could come back. I think he probably should come back and get a higher draft pick.
Well,
But
we
all
got the
comes down
best
to money.
offense. We got the best offensive line coach in the country.
yeah.
so
Yeah.
we got to replace 4 guys though. I don't care how good coach you are. That's a
No.
hard job to do.
Yeah, but we would rather have him doing it than somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, like
Yeah.
I said, like we replaced 2, and we actually got better after replacing 2. But now we got to replace probably our 2 biggest leaders. I mean, I think Samia is probably our biggest leader on the team. Maybe him and the other Samia and the other guy, the other senior Powers. They're probably our biggest leaders on the offensive line. We lose both of them. So I mean, I think Creed Humphrey is taking that spot though. You saw he's like shaking one's hand, getting everyone pumped up when they're leaving the game.
Yeah,
So
it's a leader. So, what about Hollywood? Hollywood coming back?
he's definitely gone.
You think so?
He's a first round draft pick. He's the first receiver. He's either the first or second receiver off the board on everyone's big board.
You think
Yeah.
that you think that might be why he seemed to play reserved?
Well, he was hurt.
He was hurt.
He was hurt. He got hurt in Big 12. Like he was.
I mean, he was balling in the Big 12.
Yeah.
I mean, crying. Because he was
sure he was gonna play.
he didn't. What they thought he was done.
But pretty much when they realized he just can't do it, like they took him out, and I think that's when. But like he's like in Mel Kiper's and Todd's draft board, he's either the first receiver taken or the second. Like he's a top 15 pick in their drafts.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he would, being his size.
But it doesn't
Yeah.
matter anymore. They look at Tyreek Hill. Like if you're fast, you can catch the ball. In the NFL today, we can't get
You know
hit.
what, though? There's a huge difference between him and Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but that's I mean, he's also because of Antonio Brown. Like he had better numbers than anyone else, and better than that Judy
No,
guy.
I agree. I think he's amazing. But if one of those NFL linebackers hits him, he's gonna die.
They don't do that no more, though. You can't do that. You can't do that anymore. That's why. That's why
Well,
people.
that's true,
That's
too.
why. That's why. That's why.
Points there.
That's why they can do that.
The other. I mean, I was watching some games yesterday. Is Kyler going to enter in the NFL draft?
You might just try it out.
So what I'm hoping, as is a lot of other people, from what my understanding is that he'll enter the draft, get his huge sign-on bonus and big old, multi-million-dollar contract, and then buy out his athletics, is because that's what he'll have to do because apparently he's already obligated. But maybe he just loves football for now, and he wants to make it through college.
He's already said he's going to play for the A's. So the
He'll play
thing
this
that he'll
summer.
do, the thing that if he enters in the draft, he'd have to pay back his bonus because they are guaranteed
$5 million or something.
Yeah, and with the bonus in NFL, that's a third of it, or not even a third, like a tenth of it.
Well, if he came on, he was
So he'd pay that off, play in the A's farm club or whatever they're going to do, and then he could play football.
Mm-hmm.
Now it'd be hard because no quarterback has ever done it. Dion did it, as a defensive player, an outfielder. Of course,
Big Bo,
did it, but nobody's ever done it as a quarterback, and that would be extremely. And one who could have done it, well, 2 that could have done it was Elway and Marino, and neither one of them did it because I think the football takes up too much of the time of knowing the offense, reading the defense.
And I think they were just football guys.
Yeah.
Where on the other hand, I think Kyler is just a baseball guy.
Yeah.
But I watched Kyler whenever he throws. He throws like a baseball player.
Yeah. That's his whole deal.
That chop step and
I think he loves football more than baseball, but
He's just better at baseball than he is at football.
I don't know. I mean, he's the reason why we came back in that game.
better.
That guy's a football player. He's already came back in that game. He hasn't quit ever. Like he never quits. He's always confident in himself that where he can bring a team back. That's why we come back against that Texas game. Like he brought us back in this game. Like he finally got a rhythm, and he brought us back in that game too. Like he's just a football player. Like he's really good.
Yeah, I
playing
heard that
football.
that pass he made, was that to Rambo there in the
Yeah.
fourth quarter where he was
Scrambling,
running and,
yeah.
Oh,
and
that was amazing.
golly, that was
I mean, he ran-
when that play happened. That was when my Sooner Magic heart went into play, I was like, we're going to win this game. I mean, I really thought right then, I was like,
oh, when everything looked like it was collapsing, and he stepped up,
Yeah.
and just launched it downfield.
yeah.
And you thought we were going to win at that point?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we had come back.
It was the third quarter.
That was a huge touchdown.
Yeah,
That
but I mean,
that was amazing.
you know what I mean. I mean,
It was amazing.
you know, it was you, Rob. You don't tell me that at some point in time during that game you thought we might win this thing.
Yeah, well,
Right there's why we had a chance.
it was fleeting, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, but they
I was sitting there just going, get a stop. Come on, defense, get a stop, and it just that
couldn't do
fourth quarter just couldn't do it.
Just couldn't do it.
and
Yeah.
he's also like what he ran for his first quarterback ever to run for 100 yards against Nick Saban.
It was
Which that's-
109, yeah.
that's just crazy.
Speaking of that, 4,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher.
That's
I
ridiculous.
mean, that's an amazing season.
yeah.
And
You know,
then-
and we have never taken any. You know, we made fun of his name, Tua Tagovailoa, or, you know, but we have never said he's not a great quarterback.
No, he's
you
good.
know, I mean, any other time, you know, and everybody said it too. If any of those three quarterbacks were in the running for Heisman, it just happened to be that this was the greatest Heisman class ever, ever.
You're not going to get an argument out of me.
Yeah, I mean, because you put any one of those in any other season,
They win it.
they win it.
Sure they do.
You know, it just so happens that you have these three quarterbacks, and you look at, you know, especially the top two. They're I know everybody talks about Baker being the greatest maybe of all time, and he played a longer season. But look at these two guys' season this year, Tua and Kyler. It's remarkable what those guys did.
Well, if Baker, you fast forward his stats a year, he comes in third.
Yeah,
Doesn't he?
yeah.
I mean,
So, you know, and Tua proved that he was a great quarterback and worthy of being in the position that he would, and he'll probably win the thing next year.
maybe the next 2 years.
Yeah,
He's gonna be leading next year. Everyone's tanking for that guy next year. Like he's
Well.
like the main guy.
Yeah.
Like back to Kyle getting drafted though. I mean, I think he's at worst the second best quarterback in the draft. Like I think it's him or Haskins, and then people even like draft recruits said that if he commits to playing football, he'll be a top 10 draft pick probably.
Yeah.
if he commits to it.
Now, Haskins is too young to come out, right?
Nope, he can come out this year.
he could
Okay.
come out.
That's
yeah.
why that Fields guy might go there because he can go there and play instantly.
Oh.
So-
And there, you know, but you look at the quarterbacks that are that are draftable right now. This is a terrible quarterback class unless these two guys come out.
Yeah, Herbert was like him and Haskins were 1A, 1B, and Herbert is coming back. So now it's pretty
And
much
we got
Haskins.
Will Greer.
Will Greer's like later down there. You got the guy from Washington State, then Missouri quarterback. I think, and like we talked to people think Kyle Murray is probably the best one out of all of them. He just has to commit to it. If he commits to it, he could very easily be the first quarterback taken. And in my opinion, I want to go Giants again. I've been saying
Steelers.
that. Giants.
Do you really think the NFL coaches are chomping at the bit to get Kyler?
I think they are. I mean, you look at what Baker did this year. You look at what's his name, Kansas
Breeze?
City,
Oh,
Mahomes.
yeah. The difference between Mahomes and Kyler.
No, but I'm just talking about that style of quarterback that's extremely mobile. You know, can move around in the pocket.
The play action
He
stuff.
gets compared.
Right,
He gets compared to Russell. I hear people say he's Russell Wilson but he's faster.
Yeah.
He's a faster Russell Wilson.
And he's already better at sliding than anybody in football
That's for sure.
or baseball. I mean, they don't have to worry about him getting hit because, you know, how many times. I mean, Alabama game, he probably got hit more than a lot. And I know the A's were like cringing every time he got hit.
Sure, especially that when that
Dude.
dude tried to rip his head off.
I think there's only like one big hit that he really took.
That was that one guy just jumped on him. Like he tackled me. What was that?
And that's when
He tackled-
Oh yeah, that's
Samia.
in 75.
Yeah,
Oh,
Samia.
yeah.
I don't blame
Get
him. I'd
off
have
my
done the same
quarterback!
thing. It would have been on.
Yeah. But I mean, the guy doesn't get hit running. I mean,
No.
He's too fast.
He's too fast,
You can't get a good
and
angle
he's-
on him.
And you know, he gets slides. So he's got all that. I don't know why they wouldn't be willing to take a chance on him.
It's up to him. If he comes out and says he's committed to play football, like he could, I think he'd be the first quarterback taken. I'm gonna be the first pick because the first pick's the Cardinals, and they kind of got their quarterback, I guess, or at least they can try to. But I think he'd be top 5 if he commits.
I mean, he's an amazing athlete.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if he doesn't play quarterback, though, he doesn't play football.
No, there's no reason for him.
No.
Go play baseball, get paid more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only reason to play football is quarterback money.
But we had the 4,000-yard passer, 2 1,000-yard rushers, 2 1,000-yard receivers.
Almost 30,000-yard rushers.
Is that
Yeah.
the first time? That
I don't know. We'd have to.
We'll have to do the research.
Yeah. Well.
Do the Googleizer.
No. We'll send a message to Blinken.
Yeah. He probably already has that
He probably.
information down,
Yeah. He probably has it in his head somewhere already. Just so he can just spit it back to us like that.
Yeah.
But.
I really want to talk about the big plays, big hits. That huge hit Lamb put on that middle linebacker.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that block, which is one of those deals where they talk about Oklahoma and receivers. If you can't block, you ain't playing wide receiver. I don't care how much you can catch.
Just like if you can't catch, you can't play running back either.
That wasn't
No.
a block. He destroyed that.
it's a monster hit.
Yeah.
And he did it right,
Oh, yeah.
because he could have very
It was
easily
right in
got
the
a
chest.
penalty.
There was no helmet-to-helmet contact, nothing, just straight in the chest, just shoulder drop.
But he did he did do that flex just
yeah.
for a second,
Got
not
to.
enough to do a penalty.
Got to.
When you smoke a guy like that, you got to.
When you smoke a middle linebacker, yeah,
That guy probably has 40 pounds on him.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and you know,
He's tough.
yeah, yesterday in the film room, he didn't want that play to get shown.
That's a highlight reel forever. Yeah.
You know, CD has got it on his phone, though.
Oh yeah,
He's like, hey, look, watch.
Probably the still him standing over and flexing.
yeah, just that little bit of flex and
CD balled out that game too, though.
That'd be one of those not bobblehead. What do you call it? The big poster that you can.
Fathead.
Fathead. Yeah, I'd send that off right in a hurry. Yep.
CD not only that hit, but he also just balled out the whole
Yeah,
game. They couldn't
CD
cover that guy. That guy was killing
Yeah.
it.
he was
Between him and Rambo, yeah.
That Rambo guy, he wasn't a big recruit coming in, and then he just couldn't go on the field that much. No, he was I think he was a 4-star guy coming in. He just has to be able to go on the field.
Yeah,
But-
because
and then
you
finally
got
gets on the
Hollywood.
field. Yeah,
I
you got
mean-
Hollywood.
but
That Alabama defense is legitimate all over the field.
oh yeah,
I mean, all of those guys are good.
but I think we get this DC figured out. We got 11 4-stars coming in this year that he already signed, that have already put the ink to the paper. We just got to get somebody in to develop them.
Yeah.
Develop. Not you can get all the 4-stars you want if you can't get them to play your scheme and what you want them to do, which has been the problem, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, we got Buki, who's a 5-star, who played like a 1-star. Mm-hmm. So hopefully he develops and.
And he even said, was it been a humbling experience? You're talking about one of the premier recruits last year, started and then got pulled, and he's taken it well. Hey, it's been humbling. What are they going to do with? I think they're probably going to move him to corner. I honestly do.
Corner the whole time.
Yeah, because he's, that's what he's played. I just don't think he's. I think that was it the Baylor game that he got hurt laying the hit on the guy.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's big enough to be that physical safety that they were wanting. You know what I mean? Just not physically big
Well,
enough.
what is he? $180?
Yeah, and
You
4
can't
foot
hit a
nothing. I mean,
260-pound tight end. I know it doesn't sound like much, but that 80 pounds, it's a bunch.
Yeah, because he put the leather on that guy in that game. I think wasn't it Baylor, Caleb?
He did the whole first half of the season. I think someone hit him, and he's like, "I'm not doing that no more."
Yeah,
Yeah.
tight end at Baylor.
Yeah,
so, I mean-
and he got hurt, and I just don't think he's physically big enough to be. I think everybody was wanting him to be the Bosworth, the Roy Williams of this generation. He's just not big enough.
Yeah.
He's not big enough to put that.
I think he's gonna be a corner because you don't have to be that big. If he can jump, he's an athlete. I think the corner is what you should been playing. I think they kind of realized that probably at the end of the year. It's like we can't just switch it now. He's got we do it next year.
Yeah,
And honestly, I don't think he has the frame to put 20 pounds of muscle on it.
No.
And still be a great,
No.
cover corner. Or
they'd have to add bones to his shins and.
That
do
takes years, apparently. My friends looked into it, so.
do what?
6 years.
No. But
I mean, leaking the cell job's pretty simple. Look at our offices. Like you're the missing piece. I'm pretty sure that's what we tell his recruits.
yeah,
You're a missing piece. We just need a decent defense. We win it all. That's all we need. I mean, his sales job to whoever he gets is probably the easiest job to sell. Like, look, our offense. If you come here and do your job, we're gonna be unbeatable.
yeah,
If we held them to 14 points in the first quarter instead of 28,
we win the game.
we win the game.
Yeah, I mean,
Of course, if a frog had
yeah,
wings. I hate that saying, by the way.
Yeah, I do too. But it's true. I mean, here we are sitting here again, and I'm not being negative, but it's true. Oklahoma the last 2 years has wasted championship offenses, had the best player in college football on their offense,
absolutely,
and defensively couldn't get it done. That has to be the focus. What are you pointing at, David? We got the TV on here. David was pointing at something.
And I just saying that's where I work.
That's where you work?
No.
Northrop Grumman.
Yeah.
No, there was.
Well, let's not put that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry.
It was a Wendy's commercial. He works at Wendy's.
There we go.
He makes the Baconator.
I'm actually the backup for the girl with the
You're the backup
gender
Wendy?
fluid now, so I don't know if it's female or male or
How dare
X
you.
O Y.
So, Rob, how often is it you have your boys all in the same room?
It's rare.
It's rare. Okay, this is the first time we've had my whole family together in 10 years
It's been a while.
over
No.
Christmas.
I think
I mean, you're
since your
well,
wedding.
during the holidays.
I think since your wedding's probably the last time we've all been together.
yeah.
Mm.
But when the three long men get in the room, it gets pretty rough with the farts.
Oh, I didn't know where we were going with that, but hey,
And,
you might just want to crack that door open. I don't know.
You can throw a rascal in there too. with
Yeah,
that.
and then you throw
Oh,
a
boy.
rascal with the podcast bulldog. And what's funny is David will rip them all day long, but you rip one, he's like, "Oh my god!" Oh, and it's
It's
like,
not that
dude,
serious. I'll call you out.
yeah. Well, he called out his
I
grandma.
called grandma on accident. It was on accident. It
My
was
mom,
completely on
my,
accident.
my mom is 82 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and she hadn't seen Elena.
Well, yeah, she hasn't seen Elena.
And
since she
so
was
that
born.
was part of her birthday present. We went to McAllister and surprised her with David and
Nice.
stuff.
Almost gave her a heart attack.
Yeah, but we were, she,
Well, her face like, it's a great picture.
but she was, she's old. She was getting up, and I guess
Let one slip, did she?
yeah, let one something. David was like, oh my gosh, who ripped one? And my mom, she claimed it.
Yeah, yeah, right there on the spot.
All right.
It was me,
It was
David.
me. People wonder where I get it from.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but yeah, David's one that'll, he likes to rip them when you're coming through the doorway and stuff. But if you,
That was wonderful.
if you
God
rip
bless you.
one, like last night, we were all just me, him, and Caleb sitting in there, and you'd have thought I shot him.
It was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. I came in there once after you farted. It was like 3 minutes later.
We're so popular.
Yeah,
It was like 3 minutes later.
It's just funny whenever we get on these topics because I was talking to a buddy the other day and I was like, as a kid, I would always see older guys talking about, I went to the restroom and this, that, and the other, and they make it an event, and
as you get older, you understand.
well, yeah,
it.
and, yeah. As you get older, you understand. But as a young kid, you're like, why are they talking about this?
Yeah, when you start getting older, if things aren't working like they did 20 years ago, you're like, wait a minute.
My favorite thing for me, the best rip I probably ever had was in Afghanistan. We're playing a card game.
You kill somebody?
And it
was like mustard gas.
Right? Shots fired. But we're playing a card game. There's about 12 guys in the room, counting me, and I just let a silent one go, and you hear.
Did you know when you
And everyone clears the room, and two grown men, I'm talking war-hardened veterans, puke their brains out. Oh my
and of
How
course
did you live through that?
of course, David's walking through the room with his arms up like he just
I don't
like
care
he
if I
won the
lost
UFC
$100
fight.
that night. That made an event for me.
when you let it go, did you know instantly when it came out when you farted?
Well, whenever I got a whiff of it as well, I was like, "Oh yeah, that's good. That's good."
Oh man.
Well, I don't think any of mine have ever made anybody
I've
puke.
Not almost killed anybody.
Two adult men.
Two military
Yeah.
men. So, well, that's one I can't claim. Caleb, you?
Nah. I mean,
No.
I said when we left the restaurant the other day from McAllister, Best thing in the world to me is when you go to the bathroom, your pants fit better afterwards. It's the best feeling in the world.
I thought you wore a drawstring with all your.
No, it's just like my jeans are kind of tight. It's like, God, I'm pretty full. Went to the bathroom in the hotel. I was like, all right, I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, because we went to Giacomo's and had all that great Italian food, and Caleb was complaining leaving that my pants, I can't wear my pants, but he went to the bathroom when we got to the hotel, and he was just like, oh.
Did you write your weight on the wall?
It's a good feeling. Nothing better.
See, this is my family.
I don't know.
Nothing better than good poop. Good poop's always a great feeling.
Okay.
I'm just happy I've maintained the PG-13 content.
Yes, really. We had to explain to David it's PG-13. You know,
I appreciate that.
yeah.
And Rob can only take so much of me at times. That's
Yeah.
probably why he left the game tonight.
No, it's not. You ask your dad.
No, he was saying him and Casey both. I mean, they were
But Casey
exactly
Casey
alike.
came in the garage. He was like, "We're gone. We're leaving." Right?
just like me.
Like, Casey was mad. I was like,
You know,
"God."
and they were both. I do not want to stay here in front of all these people and watch this game. They were both saying the same thing. If it was just like probably us, it would have been fine. But Rob was like, I can't stay here. I cannot around all these people. I cannot watch this happen.
Well, so I got to pace a little bit, and there was no room for me to pace. So I'm just like turning in a circle, which had to look a little odd.
Well, that was like in the first, 5 minutes of the first quarter. And Mom, Teresa, she's sitting there, and she's like, what are you doing? You're like, this is pacing corner.
Yeah. Yeah, there was not enough room for Rob to move around. He was, and I could tell, I would look at Rob, and Rob would just have the, we both, I'm sure, had the look, and that's why I went out to the garage and I just texted Rob,
much more
garage,
I'm not gonna lie,
because I couldn't either. I couldn't be around. Tattoo was here, and Tattoo was, like 9 sheets to the wind.
Let's just say beside himself.
Oh man!
And he was trying to be positive, which he, Tattoo's kind of a positive guy. He was trying to be. I just had to get away from it. I had to get away from everybody saying everything because I was going to argue with somebody, or I was going to tell somebody to shut up and just pay it. I just had to get by myself, and I stayed out there by myself until about halfway through the fourth quarter.
No, third quarter.
No.
Yeah.
Third quarter. Halftime, people came out there, really, actually,
Yeah.
halftime.
Because I tried to rally everybody, during halftime. And
I came back in the game room and watched, I watched the freaking movie for a little bit. Like, all right, I'm in the game room until halftime because I'm not watching this half.
Here's the other thing. Tattoo needed to get his charger, his phone charged, and he unplugged the TV.
Oh, that's right.
Melissa came out. Okay, Melissa came out livid because the TV. When you unplug the satellite, it has to reset. He came in there and unplugged it, and she was when he goes, I was just trying to unplug and get my charger. I needed to charge my phone.
She's going down on him.
Oh yeah.
Strike that.
Strike that.
Does Conway know that?
Never mind. Let's move on. Moving on.
Moving on.
What did you watch the game at anyways, Rob, when you left? Did you listen to it or did you watch it at your house?
Well, I listened to it all the way home, and then I watched it when I got there.
Yes, I had halfway through the second quarter, I came in the back room because I was just pissed. I watched the movie till halftime. I was like, at halftime.
What movie were you watching?
I don't know. I just flipped through channels to find something on. I was angry. It's like, I'm just going to halftime reset, take a couple shots, and then
David,
go in.
You missed it. The Big 12 championship game. Caleb is just going off. I mean,
I wasn't here Big 12 championship game. I was at the game.
What game was it?
Was it West Virginia?
West Virginia game. Yeah.
I was
he
pissed.
was angry. I mean, to the point where your dad was like, Caleb, you got to calm down.
Even when something good happened, I was like, well, who cares?
Yeah,
Boy, and he was just-
something good would happen. Kate was like, "It just doesn't matter. We're still gonna lose."
I was pissed. I was even frustrated.
Oh, it was. I mean, I'm not gonna say it was funny, but it was a little bit.
It was fun.
Caleb's probably by far one of the most negative Nancys when it comes to these ball
Yes.
games.
I can't. Well, last year I wasn't, and then they broke my heart, so I can't do it. I much rather be like, because I always
And
kind of put that.
that's-
I put that out there. I don't really believe it. I believe it, but in my back of my mind, I'm saying, well, this isn't going to happen. It's just like, I don't know. It's just
But when they started winning, he was totally the opposite. Over the top the other way.
Yeah,
which was pretty great.
that's just how I am.
Put that positive energy out there, man. You
Well,
gotta
what's-
put it out there.
It's been too long.
No,
It's been too long.
That gene skipped a generation because that's your grandpa. Okay, my dad if Oklahoma was beating Kansas in 1980, whatever, back in the day, it could be 55-3 and Kansas score. And my dad would literally throw stuff at the TV, or we were listening to it on the radio. They're gonna screw up and lose this stupid game.
Mom says I'm like Grandpa watching Grandpa.
Yeah, I remember Grandpa as a kid, being over at the house, seeing him.
See,
Oklahoma could do nothing good during the game, even though they were blowing somebody out.
It's 85-0, Grandpa.
Yeah, that's what I would tell.
See, my thing is like, I don't know. Whenever you lose, I'm like depressed for like few days, so I just try to do that to cope a little bit, even though I don't really believe it. It's just me trying to make my depression not as bad. I get depressed. Coping. Like I don't watch ESPN. On Twitter.
I'm that way.
I just get depressed for a couple of days.
I literally have not looked at anything about the game because there's no reason to. I mean, it is what it is. I just don't want to hear everybody's
like last year. Last year we were in California for David, and I was like, I was freaking sad. I went to the Comedy Store. I was still like, we still freaking lost. Can't believe we blew that freaking game. Joe Rogan's 2 feet in front of me. I'm like, this is terrible.
The biggest thing in remark and compliment, if you would, that I've seen about Oklahoma against Alabama is Oklahoma outscored every team that played against Bama this year.
Oh, yeah.
And regardless of the fact that we lost and we brought it back, in the second half, is no one else can say that.
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about it too. And watching the game before that, Notre Dame had no business being in the playoffs.
No.
Okay. Notre Dame needs to be taught
in
a lesson.
Yeah, Clemson. If they didn't give that whooping enough, then
you either join a conference, okay? Because guess what? If they were in a conference, they've been in Clemson's conference, and it's end of discussion.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Georgia gets in that regard.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And because
we play Clemson's first round too, probably.
Yeah, and it's because it was obvious. It looked like Oklahoma was that way at the beginning.
Yes.
But Oklahoma settled in and rolled back. Notre Dame never had a chance. Notre Dame, Oklahoma goes down by 28 and loses by 11.
Mm-hmm. Notre Dame had 3 points.
Notre Dame only got 3 points the whole game and didn't look like they even belonged in the same. They didn't. They didn't belong in Dallas.
I said that game was over when it was 14-3. Like I said, this game's over because Clemson's defense is so good. Like that's why I'm interested to see this Clemson Bama game because I think Clemson defense can actually get pressure on Tua.
I'm just upset to say it's another Clemson Bama
game. It's a fourth year in a row they played each other. 2 for last trial. They played last year in semifinals.
Yeah,
but I mean, I think Clemson what makes this game interesting is Clemson's defensive line. It's maybe the best unit in the country, except for the OU's offensive line. Like that D line's no joke. That the only way I think you beat Tua is to hit him, and I think they actually could hit that guy with that defensive line, and that's what they did against Notre Dame. Notre Dame couldn't do anything all game long. And I said that game's over at 14 points, and Casey was like, "It's not over yet." And then they scored a couple more times. Like, "Is it over yet, Casey?" Because not yet. And then they scored one more time. Goes, "All right, it might be over now." Like that game. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably not gonna watch that championship game because I've seen it 4 times, but I think it's probably a good game. I think it's a good game personally, but
no, I'm gonna watch it. I mean,
you didn't watch last year's.
Still football.
Last year's you didn't watch because we should have been there.
Yeah, it's still, but. My deal is pretty much my season is now over thanks to Baker Mayfield. Could not beat the Ravens yesterday to help my Steelers out. So,
but they lost by 2, right?
Yeah,
they came back, lost by
still,
2.
I mean, it doesn't matter
against that Ravens defense.
I needed a win. It's the Steelers' fault. They freaking lost 3 games they shouldn't.
Lost the Raiders.
I mean, Dad, in all honesty, you guys got to get rid of Big Ben.
No, he had a 5,000-yard throwing season. So no, we're not going to have that discussion.
Can't move.
We're not going to have that discussion.
He looks like the Tin Man with no oil.
That discussion.
Well, also too, like with Baker yesterday, the Ravens defense is one of the best defense in the league. They've only had the ball thrown for 300 yards on them 3 times. One of them was by Patrick Mahomes, and Baker did it twice.
Yeah, so I will be. Kansas City is one of my teams, so I'll be rooting for Kansas City. Rob, after Dallas loses in the first round, who are you going to be? Who are you going?
Are you kidding? Dallas is going all the way.
Because do y'all have the bet again or that?
No, I bet Conway like a night out that Cowboys going to lose the Seahawks.
Because they haven't won a playoff game.
They played the Seahawks first round.
No,
tough game.
What was it? 2 years back? They actually won their first.
They beat the
playoff
Lions, and then they lost to the Packers
Yeah.
with a Dez caught a
game.
catch.
It's like they make it to it every year, and then
I personally think it's gonna be the Bears. Maybe I think it might be the Bears Ravens because it's like the two best defenses, and then the Bears defense is amazing. The Ravens just play the weirdest offense ever. It's just run the ball. They play the Army offense, and no one can stop it because Lamar Jackson's so fast. And they just pretty much like, all right, we're just not gonna make any mistakes, and our defense is gonna shut you down. And they've won every game pretty much since they've been doing that.
So I'll be going for the Kansas City Chiefs. Rob, you got the Dallas Cowboys for 1 week. Caleb, who you?
See, I just come over and I even brought donuts. And he still picks on me.
kids went crazy.
I'm going.
very nice.
I want the Chiefs to win, but I think it's gonna be the Bears and Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Bears
So-
and Ravens.
So David, who you don't
No, that's all Sarah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sarah,
Should be mad at the Bears. So that'll be
yeah.
interesting to see her freak out about that. 'Cause she's a Packers fan.
I'm surprised she was so calm yesterday.
Well, the season's been over for a while.
It doesn't matter.
That was a
Sarah's
terrible
kind of
game.
crazy when it comes
that,
to
well,
football.
That was a terrible game, but since we had the kid and everything, she'd calmed down a little bit.
She's calmed down a little bit. I got a
the
video
best-
of
the
her.
best, yeah.
It was a preseason game.
No, it was the first game of the year.
It
That
was
was
the
the
fir-
first game.
She is on her knees.
2 feet away from
2
TV.
feet away from their TV, and every other word was an F bomb coming out of her.
It's because of
Is she
TV.
from Green Bay? or-
No,
Nope.
no. So my wife's born and raised in Germany. I cannot pronounce the town nor spell it in which she was birthed. It's close to Kaiserslautern, but she was raised there, and ultimately her what is it? Godfather, military, I guess, Green Beret, huge Green Bay Packers fan, and she was just kind of raised around that, and it instilled
stuck.
in her. She carried it over, and for me, I'm born and raised in Oklahoma. Never really. I think as a kid, I was pretty hard up on the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just love quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, wide receivers has always been my thing. So
Vikings were team football because of Randy Moss, right?
And then Randy Moss, Carter, and everybody loved them. And then Peterson goes there, so I follow Peterson. I'm like, all right, go Peterson. Then I have my wife, also, mind you, she's a UT fan.
Yeah.
So early on in our relationship, we decided that I was going to get college and she was going to get the NFL. Because we were at a restaurant watching a ball game, Vikings versus the Packers, and it was pre-playoff, and it was going back and forth as if Packers were going to make it, and this is all that happened, and I was only allowed to root for Peterson because that's my boy, right?
Yeah.
So she said, "You can root for Peterson, you root for anybody else, it's going to be your rear," and there was a play made. It was like a first down or something it shouldn't have happened. And all I did was this. Woo! Next thing I know is, boom! Jacked in the jaw.
Oh, my
That
God.
that was the night. We were like, all right, you get this, I get this, and we'll leave it there.
Did you ever find your Pearson jersey?
Yeah.
Yes.
She finally get. Yeah. He had a Peterson jersey.
We got it for
an
Christmas.
OU one, right?
One of my best friends. He got a Peterson jersey. He sold it off. I bought it from him. Autograph picture, jersey, everything. I hadn't seen it until this past year, and I've had it for like 7.
She hid it from him.
I thought she burned it, honestly.
So yeah, my wife is no way at all. She wants to move there so we can get part ownership of
Yeah,
Green
she wants
Bay.
to be
Yeah.
owner. You really don't have to. You just gotta
You can apply for it.
I look
You
for
can
it.
apply for it.
No, I look for it.
because Lisenby here that's on the radio, and he
He's part owner.
Part owner.
He
He
went to games. So maybe I think he had to go to the game or something like that.
yeah to become a have your little. I guess they give you a plaque that you own 100
.001%.
See this blade of grass? It's yours.
But so to circle back around as to what you're saying is I don't care.
I'll do things. As
Good
long as,
answer.
as long as the Patriots don't win, as long as the Cowboys lose first round, I'm happy.
So you're saying that the Patriots and Cowboys are in the same boat in your
Yeah, as long
fandism?
as, like, if the Cowboys were Patriots, that's like hell to me.
I think Dad's rooting for the Patriots, so they have one up over the Steelers.
No, that's never going to happen. It's never going to happen.
Or he's rooting for the Cowboys so that we can tie the Steelers.
No, it's never going to happen.
Well, you guys have been sitting on 5 since '94.
1894. 1894.
But yeah, so yeah, I'll be rooting for the Chiefs.
If the Chiefs lose, then after that, you're like, eh.
I might go to the Bears then.
Where are the who's been turning it up? The Rams or the
Yeah.
Chargers?
Well,
Rams.
both of them are.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
both have the same amount of law. I think they're both like 12-3.
The
Or
Rams
what,
probably have the
13-3.
best defensive line in
Yeah.
pro football.
Because I think the last time the Rams went to the Super Bowl, I was a kid. And I was like 10 or 11.
So
or
when the
something.
Patriots dynasty started, then stupid Patriots.
So you're not a Belichick fan, huh?
I don't mind Belichick. I like Tom Brady.
You don't like Tom Brady
No.
because I know you kind of like love the tight end.
Gronk, because Gronk's
Gronk.
funny. That's one party with that guy. It's
You
fun.
want to party?
Gronk's a beast.
You want to
gotta
party
give it
with
to him.
Gronk? Have you tweeted him?
I
party?
think honestly, if I could hang out with anybody, it'd be Gronk and JJ Watts.
Yeah. Well, honestly, JJ Watt. I'm not sure JJ Watt like might be a cool guy, but I'm not sure the guy you want to party with.
I want to hang out with go to the pub with just went blank. What's the name? Oh, Thunder.
Steven Adams.
Steven Adams. Steven Adams, I think, would be the funnest guy to hang out with at the bar, having beers. Especially if you could get him to sit on the commercial where they're doing the Elf on the Shelf, and now they have. Have you seen the Budweiser commercials?
Yeah.
Hydrate. Have you seen those?
Hydrate.
Water.
I'm trying to think of someone.
Rob,
Yes, sir.
who would you hang out with? Who would you want to sit down and have a brewski with, if you could? Mike Tyson.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Wouldn't that be interesting? You're like, where's the tiger at? I mean, wouldn't you?
I can feel it.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't kind of go out for that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. But
Well, I guess mine might probably be Baker because he'll get caught by the cops, not me. So you'll have him get caught by the cops. I can get away.
well, if he can't outrun them, neither can I. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's more of the star, so like they'll go after him, get the headlines, and I can like sneak out the back door.
That's.
I've seen Baker before on campus, so yeah, he did party a little bit, so yeah, he was at Logie's. He had a little corner in Logie's.
Was
I saw him
Allegedly
Yeah.
was partying.
No,
he's 21
no.
years old. He can party.
Allegedly.
He admits to it, and he messed
I mean,
around.
in-
He got
in his-
caught. You know.
In his Brett Favre picture, he was wearing a Logie's hat. I even typed in like Logie's hat's classic. He liked it. Like, I like my Baker, but yeah, he's wearing a Logie's bar hat on his head during the Brett Favre picture for the draft, which is hilarious.
And he liked the point.
Yeah, like I put the like Logie's hat, like crying emoji, laughing cry emoji. He liked it. It's like, hey, Baker Mayfield for like my tweet.
Did you like
I did
screenshot it?
My tattoo might be jealous about that.
Yeah, that he liked your tweet. So, Rob, do you have anything else that you want to touch base with?
I really would just like to have another shot at Alabama. I mean, I know that
They'll be there next year. Maybe we could be there next year.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we, if here we go with ifs again, but it's just like the Texas game. You and I talked about this earlier. They beat us the first time. We came out and we were nervous, I think, for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then we finally got it, and we still almost beat them.
Yeah.
I think it's a very similar. I think we came out, nerves were just all over the place. Kyler couldn't hit anybody.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we're up on us just, 21-0 just real quick. If we had to do it again, I don't think that would be the case. I think it would be a closer game. I'm not saying we'd beat them, but I think we can beat them.
Yeah. Well, here's and we'll discuss this more during the off season, everybody. But here's a discussion that Rob and I had. Does a 12-1 Oklahoma next year get into the playoffs? Even though they've been there 2 years in a row, we're 0-3 in playoffs. is that is this going to be a hindrance when they've been there 3 times, they've had one loss all 3 times?
You want me to answer now?
Yeah, and we'll talk about it more.
So right now, I think the answer is no. If it's given the same situation,
yeah.
Of course, the situation might be different. Given the exact same situation next year, we don't make it.
Right, but if we're 12-1 next year, but yet our defense, the loss we had was a fluke, let's say, or whatever, we lose early in the season, but our defense, we win games 45-10 instead of 45-40. I think we do.
Here's my answer to that. Right? If we have a defense, we're not going to be 12-1. We're going to be 13-0.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're in.
Because the only Big 12 threat we got next year really is going to be Texas.
Texas is going to be really good next year.
Yeah.
They have everyone coming back. So, so that Hager guy, but that might be an upgrade because I don't think that guy's that good.
Hager.
But, that Texas team, Ellinger, I just hate to say it, that guy's a legit, Heisman-type candidate, which is freaking hate that. I hate that guy.
With you guys talking about getting into the playoffs and everything, with everyone being up on their high horse about this, that, and the other, what did you guys think about everyone going off about UCF?
No,
they haven't faced a top team.
They faced one that was last year in the Sugar Bowl, and they beat them.
Yeah,
but we'll know tomorrow. They play LSU. If LSU beats the crap out of them, I don't think LSU's that good. So,
the thing is, though, is in this system, they're never going to let a non-Power 5 team in an undefeated non-Power 5 team. They're never going to do it, okay? Which is funny because what conference are they in? I can't think of Sun Belt or something like that.
The American Conference.
The American Conference. I was watching a game the other day, and it was the American Conference game. Everybody has the Big 12 has their commercials. Well, the American Conference is saying they're a Big 6 conference. So they've, they're, we're a Big 6. We're number 6 out of the number 5. They're never going to let an undefeated, Boise State would have never got the opportunity to play for the national championship, even though they probably deserved it a couple of years. They weren't going to do that. You're not a Power 5 conference. You don't play enough people to merit getting that. And the only way they get in is if they expand the playoffs to 8 teams, 5 Power 5, and 3 at large. They'll get in then. They'll let a non-Power 5 conference in.
If deserving, if they're undefeated, stuff like that.
Now, if they were undefeated and they beat a Florida and an Arkansas, they would let them in. But UCF's not going to schedule those games.
Well, they won't schedule against them either.
No, and they were offered apparently. What was it?
Florida.
Against?
Home and home against
was
Florida?
it against
No,
Florida?
It was home.
It was home Florida.
Yeah, home Florida, and then I think they were saying
they wouldn't take it.
They were doing a home and home Florida, and a neutral site.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And
which really, that's smart for Florida to do that.
And UCF, you can say it's unfair or whatever else. That's not, no, you take those games. Mm-hmm. If you want to be considered, you're going to get paid.
It's going to be big money.
You're going to get $1 million to play these teams. You can build your program up. You don't turn around a Power 5.
Stop whining about the deal. Take the game. Beat them. Now you got.
But that's my favorite thing, though, is to bring that up also in conversation, because I've seen it the whole time during this whole issue of, why isn't UCF up in there? Why isn't UCF? And I had to break down somebody. I was like, in the past 2 years, who have you played to earn this?
Exactly.
And yes, you're undefeated, and that's amazing. No one is going to frown upon that you guys are undefeated for 2 years. And in a college system, that's huge.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going to occur. But when you're presented these opportunities,
you take them. And see, and that's what ended up when Boise finally started taking those games, the problem was Boise would beat Oregon early in the season, then they would lose to Nevada, and that was their problem at that point in time. UCF has to take those games, prove it. They're going to, if they beat LSU tomorrow, they're going to go, or today or tomorrow. Now, if they beat LSU, they're going to go, see, we deserve to be there. No, you didn't. You didn't beat anybody to get there. Until you beat somebody to get there, it don't matter what you do in the bowls.
That's definitely what they're going to say, because in the 2 years of undefeatedness, they've beaten Baylor and Auburn.
Right.
Which Baylor's,
Yeah. But the thing is, though, Boise State was in the same situation. Boise State was never going to get the opportunity to play in the BCS.
Never like talking about Boise.
But what did they do? They beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. Mm-hmm. They were beating these teams in the bowl games, and they still weren't getting in. And when they went, okay, we'll play Oregon. They had the same situation. Nobody wanted to play them. There was no benefit, but people finally started playing them. Then they screwed up and were losing their conference games. Mm-hmm. They were winning the big games, and that would be the same thing that would happen to UCF. UCF would probably beat a Florida or a Texas Tech. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
But I mean, if they did, the thing is they would still have to end up going 12-0, and that's what the argument was with Boise State, and I agree with it, and with UCF. It's not whether you can beat somebody once. Can you play a Power 5 conference? Okay. Schedule.
Yeah.
And go undefeated.
The answer is no.
It's not beating one person once. It's playing these teams, and people go, well,
look at
the Big 12. We could. You don't know that you're playing Power 5 conference teams. People with your teams with 3, 4, 5-star athletes, not your conference that's playing with 1, 2, and 3-star athletes. Mm-hmm. It's just a whole. It's like 6A football in Oklahoma. They basically split 6A in Oklahoma, 6A1 and 6A2, because the teams could never compete
still cannot
with the Broken Arrows, the
Tulsa Union,
Jinx. So they split it up. And now, which I think was fair. They needed to do that. It's the same thing with UCF. You're in a completely different. You're a Division I program, but you're in a completely different level of competition in your conference.
Absolutely, yeah. They play in the Big 12. They will not go. They play in any Power 5 conference. They're not going undefeated.
Yeah.
Period.
So ultimately, to all the UCF fans, that was a big.
But everybody out there again, follow us. We're going to start doing getting the fans back on the podcast this month. If you're interested in being on the podcast with us, go to our website, www.soonerfootballfans.com. It's very easy to remember. And there's a form. You just scroll down and you just put your information in there, drops us an email, and we'll get in contact with you. We're going to take a week to 10 days, 2 weeks off, to kind of reboot and get everything going so that, we won't have a podcast for the next couple weeks. We'll probably still do a couple of YouTube things. We're still trying to get that going and figured out. So this will be our learning curve for a little bit with that. But this season has been fun. The football season has. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary of being podcasters.
Right.
And, but the season has been a blast with everybody. We were hoping to get an extra week out of it, but
apparently I had to show up and watch the game with you.
Yeah, so. Which David can't watch any more games with me.
Yeah,
so
my father has proclaimed that the sad thing about this, Dave, is this will be the last game we get to watch together.
Yeah.
Well, next year UCLA going to test at UCLA next year. So
do what?
You go UCLA next year, right?
Yeah.
Big bowl games.
Yeah. Big bowl games.
Big bowl games.
So, but that's today's podcast, everybody.
You want to do a shout out, Dave?
Nate? Yeah, to Nate's.
No, so I've got a very close friend. He's pretty much become family. His brother was in a detrimental car accident, hit head on. And has been undergoing all kinds of surgery and stuff. So if you guys want to send thoughts, prayers, or whatever, that'd be great. But they got that going on. Other than that, just hope that we have a safe trip the rest of the time that I'm here.
Yep, they're heading down to Texas for a little bit and then back out to beautiful southern Cal or a high desert, right?
Yep.
It's in the high desert, so
it's wonderful.
Yeah. And of course, Caleb, where are you heading back to? Oh yeah, you still live
I
here.
live here. trying to get some people going. Talking to some people trying to get
I
going.
still think, Rob, don't you need a roommate?
No.
But
All good.
I mean, he doesn't cook. He doesn't clean. He didn't hit. Oh, okay.
there's some stuff.
He'll do his own laundry wrong, but he'll do it.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then, I was gonna say, but I'm looking. If anyone wants a roommate, hit me up. That's the only thing I need. I just like I live by myself. I don't like living by myself. So that's one roommate.
So it's at Dr. Long 24 on Twitter. If any non-psychopath serial killers are looking for a roommate, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, how strict are you on the non-psychopath stuff? Because you might be easier. You move the parameters back just a little bit.
Anyways, we have a conversation. See how it goes.
There it is.
There it is. So at Dr. Long 24 if you're looking for a roommate. I may even kick in some money to.
there's a sign-in bonus for you out there.
I'm sorry, Caleb.
I don't care. You think I like being here? No, I don't like being here. You think it's a one-way street?
I'm pretty sure we can go round and round with this one.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
but anyway, that's the podcast, guys. Boomer Sooner, everybody. Thanks for listening. Boomer Rob.
Boomer Jerry.
Boomer Caleb. Boomer David.
I'm dead.
Thanks for listening to the Sooner Football Fans Podcast. Hit the subscribe button right now on whatever app you're listening to download every episode as they come out. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook and on YouTube. Boomer Sooner.